Go. Hello, my name is Alun. My pronouns are he, him, and today I'm facilitating the end of Series 1, I think we describe it. We're having Series 2 in February, but Series 1 will end today with a finale. Um, and this is a game which I'm increasingly thinking is a game in development, the Cluster. Which is a PBTA game. You want to know more about it, go back to session 1, session 2, where I did a bit more intro. What I will say is that this game, as all my online games, is organized as part of the Open Hearth gaming community's monthly calendar. If you don't know about the Open Hearth, please search Open Hearth, come and play with us, because we think we have quite a good culture. And we play round the world, because we're on 3 continents, if you count the British Isles now as separate. Um, what else do I want to say? We are playing with a set of safety rules, safety tools. The players all know about those. They can check that out where we are in terms of lines and veils. We've not seen the X card in use yet, but we're also playing within the community's code of conduct, which is, I sometimes summarize as don't be a dick, but that won't be a problem today because these are great players. So with that in mind, I don't think I'm going to ask everyone to do an introduction. I think we want to get the ball rolling as swiftly as possible. So where did we leave off? We left off with the crew aboard the Fortitude, their fairly ramshackle and repurposed ship, in pursuit of a pirate vessel that they have an interest in. They are seeking to investigate the reasons why these pirates attacked a colony in a different star system. That pirate ship has escaped and is heading down to a planet in the Void system called Void 3. Void 3 is well, how have we described it? Just as a reminder, Void 3, low gravity and a marginal atmosphere. There are remains of a pre-collapse life domes. There is bountiful life on Void 3, but the rivers are sludge-filled and swampy. There are dangerous predators, virulent fungal infections, and toxic spore storms. It is more habitable at altitude. So that's where the marginal bit is. And this is a society that, when the Ringgate system collapsed almost a millennium ago, they fell back to barbarism. So they have dragged themselves up by their bootstraps to an anarchic Iron Age. So we're going to see what life is like down there shortly. And I think we see the Fortitude heading down with all 4 of you up in operations, kind of following the track that you've managed to pick up for the Whisper, the pirate vessel's descent. And they appear to be descending towards an area of high terrain, mountainous terrain, which would fit with the idea of it being more habitable at some height. I'm guessing Nestor is at the controls. Is that reasonable at this point?
Yeah,
Our
sure.
daredevil.
Or yeah, I can be at the controls if nobody minds. I can fly this thing sometimes, at least. Not always, but sometimes.
Nestor, I'm interested in whether, looking at the gravity here is low. There is
Nice.
the possibility of actually landing the Fortitude.
Okay.
Um, or do you want to resort to the shuttle? What's
We
your
have
feeling?
we have a shuttle, right?
Yeah.
Huh. I
Leave the
mean,
ship in orbit, go down in the shuttle?
I love the idea of landing this thing. However, I'm a daredevil. I'm not terminally stupid. So putting this thing next to the Whisper's crew and the whole Merc uh, company, well, we're just 4 people, and I mean, I love all 3 of the others, but when it comes down to a fight, I don't think
Does
that
the shuttle have any weapons?
No. It is, yeah,
no,
you didn't invest anything in the shuttle when you
no,
were designing the ship. So the
no.
shuttle is really a cargo container with some aerodynamics.
Yeah. How feasible is is using the Fortitude as air support, given that it's not very aerodynamic?
Um, well, the gravity is low,
Yeah.
and the atmosphere at altitude is thin.
Hmm.
That's why it would be possible to put the Fortitude down. But
Yeah. Flying
that,
it around though.
yeah, flying it around, no, I don't. That would not be my preferred suggestion, I think.
Okay. I just wanted to double check where we were with the physics of
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
particular sci-fi
It's
universe.
physics is
Yeah, yeah. Then yeah, I think that's it. Because otherwise, it's like our ace in the hole, right? Because our ship is in a better state than theirs is, and as the Americans will tell you, air support is everything. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, but that would mean that one of us would have to stay on the
it
ship and
would.
fly it around. And while this might be a tactical solid option, as a player, I think we
hmm,
all want to go to the planet as players,
yeah.
right?
Um,
We don't want to
However,
stick someone
before
up.
we set up in the shuttle, could I try perhaps constructing some sort of offensive capability onto it?
No,
No? Okay, I just was
not in the
curious.
time. No, I
I was
mean
wondering if I could bolt a PDC onto it or something, you know?
no, I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough.
Because there are ways to improve the ship.
Yeah,
But I don't think that a temporary binding of a PDC on there is going to work.
fair enough.
Not in the time you've got while in orbit. So I think that we're going to be down to the using the shuttle to get down. Um, and again, Nestor, this counts as a vehicle rather than a ship.
Nice.
So
Okay.
your character move, which is when you face a physical obstacle, challenge, or risk,
Mm,
roll and you use your
mm.
strength, resilience, and aggression to push yourself or your vehicle through. Roll plus force. What is the physical challenge? What is the challenge of getting this thing down in these Rocky Highlands? I've given a sense of the Rocky Highlands on the Faces and Places tab, where you have this pinnacle rising out of the jungle.
Oh, nice. Pinnacle. You said jungle, right? I think there you have your challenge. There's a jungle in the way. And
Okay.
you'd have to navigate to find a clearing with the shuttle instead of being spared by all the trees
Oh,
that grow there.
let me ask you this question then. Are you going to put down in the jungle or in the highlands? Um,
Oh,
what we know so far is that the highlands are more habitable. And the assumption, I think, probably is
okay.
that that's where the
Yeah,
Whisper
okay.
has tried to put down near what passes for a center of civilization on this planet.
I know people on this planet, right? I've been here
Oh,
before.
yeah, there are these primitive inverted commas uh, Iron Age. Yeah, there are people here.
Okay,
The
so
Forsaken, they
the
call themselves.
Forsaken. Oh, and they live in the Highlands, I presume.
Yes.
So I'll say, yeah, well, let's set down in the Highlands, maybe near a settlement, I know. But the problem here is these are Highlands, they're pretty boggy, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
And you'd have to find a solid spot unless you want to go down into the bog with your shuttle, which might be salvageable, but is not ideal. If the gravity is low, we could probably start it from inside a bog, but it's not ideal, is what I'm saying. So
I get that. So let's have you roll to just do it then, while
okay.
everybody else desperately white knuckles hangs on
Oh,
to their acceleration coaches.
it's gonna be fine. Do I roll finesse or for force?
Force.
Force. Oh, okay. Let's see if these dice roll any better. No, they don't, but it's still a seven, I think.
7.
5 + 2 is 7, yes.
On 7 plus, what does your suggest look like? Get somewhere hard to reach, take someone or something by surprise, dodge the harm that was imminent, not relevant really, or do you drop out of sight? Do you do this discreetly so no one notices?
I think we're fine with discreet for now, maybe? Yeah. Yeah,
Fine.
discreet is better.
So you've got an idea where the kind of accretions on these rocky highlands, the settlement is um, built on and in the rock formations up here. And I think we see the shuttle come in low over the jungle, maybe, um, and wind its way up a valley with these thick sludge-filled uh, river courses, water courses below, and discreetly put down on a rocky outcrop, a reasonably flat piece of rocky outcrop, within uh, an hour or so's trudge from the settlement, or do you want to be closer?
I think I
You,
want to be closer. I mean,
fine.
it's not fun walking around this planet.
You are going to be out of sight. So
Yeah,
even if it's convenient, it's going to be out of you. Nobody's going to know you're there. Yeah.
that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
So, but on a seven,
Since we don't have guns, that's all for the better, I
but on
guess.
a 7 to 9, I say what your success costs you.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
there's a cost to someone or something important. A piece of your equipment is stressed during the maneuver. Yeah, I think that the shuttle's drive suffers a little,
Oh,
because this jungle is very dense, and there are these storms of spores, fungal spores, and I
okay.
think that the inlets on the shuttle are badly clogged.
Oh,
And given that they're potentially an infection risk,
oh.
this is going to cost time or effort to deal with, or you could ignore it for now.
I mean, we have an engineer, right? I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna tell Dr. Rillisk that we probably have some clogging of these spores. They're everywhere. They get everywhere. That's what I hated about this planet. But we, I don't know if I think we can get back to the ship. I'm pretty sure we can.
Well, I suppose I best make sure that we actually can rather than just think we can.
Whatever you want, Dr. Rillisk.
So, what are we looking for here? Is this hypothesizing what the problem is, or are you learning something about the fungi, or are we just trying to clean it out?
Um, I don't think I want to. I don't think I care about learning anything about the fungi or anything. I
Fine,
think I care about getting it out of the engine and, uh, making sure it works.
fine. So
Um,
you are looking to remove the feature blocked intake valves.
yes, yeah. I think and this doesn't feel like an under pressure brute force,
Well,
you know.
again, it depends how quickly after the arrival of the Whisper you want to get to civilization or get on with the task in hand.
Well, we're close by, aren't we?
Reasonably, but you're about to get further away in time from their arrival.
Well, I know, but then Dr. Rillisk will be working on the engines while the others go check out the settlement.
Oh, so they right, you're going to split.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes no sense. The ship just needs to be working when we need it.
Okay, fine.
Time is of the essence.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it
So,
would make no sense to stop and fix the engines when three people could be doing investigating and I could
okay,
be fixing the engines.
spot on.
Yes.
So, Jax, um, first of all, Jax, before we get to that, because I have forgotten about your love letter. So you missed last time. While Dr. Rillick is working on that, let's have a flashback to your circumstances. So what I'm interested in is how did you spend the downtime that they had on the Ringate station? And you've got some options here. You can either spend that time on the Ringate system, or you can flash back to what you did on the ship during the 2 weeks it spent in ring space.
Yeah, so I think he was on the Ringate station, and I think he was attempting to make contact with people he knew in Ringate Authority, being somebody that at one time was was kind of part of the official security. These are people that he maybe knew and might trust, since he's now not a official member anymore. And I think what he's doing is um, he wants to get a sense of like what's been happening since he fled. I think he's a bit concerned about, he knows um, that sister is he knows that the
Out there.
family is after him, and so he's interested in finding out what's been going on and that. So
So does that sound like put your ear to the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, pick up some local knowledge. Yeah. So that will
Yeah.
be roll plus, or is it review the politics? If it's about the Ringate Authority, it's probably review the politics.
Sorry, I'm looking at the. uh, yeah, I mean, I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other, right? Ear to the ground specifically talks about local knowledge, but so
And that might involve the Ringate Authority because it's a Ringate station.
yeah, I don't have a strong preference. So the I think it's put your ear to the ground.
Roll +1.
Do that. All right, back to the roller. I'm going to use the old dice. So they didn't do me wrong last time, so
Yeah, you're lucky you weren't here last time. Trust the
9.
Well, so on a 7+, tell the GM what you're interested in finding out. So what specific question have you got for me?
What does he know? What does this person know about? I think it's what's the word about him? He wants to know our what's happening involving that would involve him.
Okay, so this is an inquiry of maybe local law enforcement about
Yeah,
whether what's the informal word?
right.
Yeah. And I think I can tell you that there have been some inquiries. You're not entirely certain, and this is where the 7 to 9 will kick in. You're not entirely certain if those inquiries are specifically about you or you as a member of this crew. Because a choice was made when you got a payoff from Dean Archibald around the word about this will get out. So there are inquiries being made, and I think that Nestor got a similar kind of, you're getting mixed up in stuff that you really want to stay away from, but you're not certain, Jax, whether that's about you or about what the crew is doing. Okay?
Okay.
And then tell me what you did in the words of the love letter. Um, if the others were busy with a job while you were off screen, say how you spent your time and how it involved a currently relevant faction, and then roll plus the relevant stat. So they then kind of took off and ended up in a space battle, in effect, when you were off screen. So
I would have been on the ship, but not participating in the space battle.
Yeah.
That's a
tricky
tough one.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
a tricky one.
It is.
So I have two. I only had 2 ideas when I read this.
Okay.
Because I assumed I was on the ship as well. So one is super lame. And it's basically that he was just sick, but that feels super lame. So the other
is always poisoned, the sexier version of sick.
right. The sexy well played. But then I was also thinking that maybe he was indulging and he has his sort of like I don't know what we called that is grief, his hook, and I was thinking that perhaps he has is through either drugs, alcohol, something like that, had is overindulged to drown his grief, and
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I'm very happy to see the rest of the crew in a flashback, carrying him back on board, um, and laying him down in his cabin. So, and then when you surface from that, now the two obviously relevant kind of factions here that you may have learned something about while you were on the station, and once you sober up, you can share this knowledge, was the Ringate Authority or the Forsaken. They're the most obviously relevant.
mhm. Um, am I just picking which one or exactly? Um, what if he found out that maybe there was some sort of rumor or something that elements of the Ringate Authority were involved in something going on Void 3?
Oh yeah, fair enough. Fine.
Like,
So
like maybe,
yeah,
maybe not even, but not like officially, right? Like that there was just
yeah, yeah.
some rumors that there was something,
Why is the Ringate
perhaps.
Authority interested in Void 3? Because nobody else is. Yeah.
Right, right.
Okay. So let's have you roll that. It seems to me that's either sharp or shady.
Um, maybe so depending on how he got the information. Yeah, I don't think it was that shady. Him like he was dealing
Okay.
with his people he knew or whatever,
Fine.
if that's
So
fair. So maybe
roll plus
sharp.
sharp.
Let's see.
Make
Not so sharp.
eyes.
Not so
Okay.
not so sharp.
Your backstory interfered. Um, I think as the reason you are drunk and had to be carried onto the ship is that at the point when you were going to meet someone to have this conversation, you saw that sister Leora across a crowded, you know, room, and you ran and just drank yourself senseless. Um, and I think what that turns into is a debt. You owe the Ringate Authority a debt because I think that your contact in the RGA is really pissed off that you didn't turn up for the meet. Okay? Or
Okay.
erase a favor they owed you. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
you.
don't think nobody owes me any favors.
Okay.
So do
Okay.
I mark a debt
A
with
debt to the
Ringate?
Ringate Authority.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Sorry
So
about that, folks. That was really clumsily inserted into the flow of play. Um, But with that in mind, Dr. Rillisk is seen in the background, stripping some panels off the side of the shuttle, I'm guessing, while the other three of you head over that rise towards the only major habitation on this planet, that of the Forsaken. So, Jax, I've put a picture of the Forsaken in the faces and places
mhm.
to give you some sense of, primitive inverted commas survivors of the Ringgate collapse. And I think I've already said that what this settlement is built on and in this mountain. And there is a single piece of open ground in front of the main approach to this settlement, and resting on it is the Whisper. It's guarded, Jax. As because you're the investigator, so I think I see you kind of looking over the rise. What do you suggest to Deacon Gallant and Nestor about an approach here?
So like I guess in one sense they don't really know who we are, right? I mean,
Oh, they don't know who I am.
They
They
know
know
who
who
you
I
are.
am.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the,
I
the,
served with them for a bit and it
Ah,
didn't go well, so they are not fans of mine, to be honest.
yeah, I've added Captain Golvan, or
Oh
a
yeah,
potential image for Golvan, to the
nice.
faces and places.
Let me see
Feel
that.
free to replace him if you'd prefer, Sabine, somebody else, but
Um,
he seemed to fit.
oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah,
and
that's pretty on the nose, yes.
yeah, so Nestor served with under Golvan before he cut and run from the mercenary unit, and that Golvan has now turned nasty pirate.
It was
right.
Nazi Merc before, so
Yeah.
it's not big, it's not that big of a change, really.
Okay, so um they're basically landed there. There's the settlement is around it or
Around it and behind it.
and behind it. Okay.
Oh,
Um, so okay. So we're not going to be able to just wander in here. Um,
Well, that said, Nestor, I think the Forsaken owe Nestor a favor, don't they?
yes, they do. I know some of these guys, and maybe, maybe they don't even like, I mean, nobody likes Galvan, that's the thing. So
so
maybe we can talk them
so there's a
into helping us, or
yeah, so
someone can
there's a
talk them into helping us.
yeah, so we'll put a I kind of agree. Like, what is our objective
Okay.
heading into here, just so we're all on the same page before we start going off on sort of random
Dr.
shenanigans.
Dr. Rillisk?
Well, remember, we were only contracted by Dean to find proof of this conspiracy, to find out why, to find out as much as we can about the Ring Gate. We know that it was Nestor's former boss that is behind this attack, that was in charge of the Whisper. We know that the Whisper's been raiding convoys and various other aspects of Galliel's order. We need to find out why, who's behind this. We need to find out the next step. We don't necessarily need to take out
No.
Whisper and Galvan. We can simply hack their ship, if we can dig their logs, if we can force a confession out, or if we can catch them in the act, I suppose. Any of those things. And as she casts her mind back to the, maybe looks up in space at the dot where the but of course, if anyone was to kill Gowron, I don't think it would be doing the cluster a huge disservice. He's quite unpleasant, as those that cargo carrier massacre shows.
But
yeah,
this is an investigative
Yep.
job.
Yeah.
And we're trying, yeah. So
Yeah,
so
we're not out to get them, but and you're right, of course, Jax. They don't know you or they don't know Rillisk anyway. So maybe you can schmooze up to them, some of them at least, and get
yeah, that's
them.
what I was thinking that either Dr. Rillis is right. Either we need to try to either get on the ship or try hack to because if we could get the logs off the ship, right, to show that it had been there and that would help. The other option is I'm assuming that there would be some sort of is there some sort of like where the crew would be, right? Like
Well,
if they're on like a pub of some sort or attack,
right. So let's cut to the chase, Jax. Let's have you roll to investigate to see what you can work out from your point of observation.
So would this
Yeah, I
be
think-
find an angle?
This is the investigate move roll plus sharp. Because find an angle is to set up a move.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think, you're looking
Deacon-
over the rows, you're looking at this, the three of you. I'll come to Gallant in a moment, because who knows, Gallant may already have walked down there. But let's have Jax make that investigate. Roll plus sharp.
All right. I'm switching to Sabine's dice.
Hey, okay.
After that snake eyes, hopefully I won't soil these dice as well. So
Mhm.
9.
9. Okay, 7 to 9. 7 plus. The GM provides relevant information. The ship is under guard with both locals and members of the crew. So there is an issue about getting to the ship. There is activity around the ship, so it will probably be easier to get into the settlement than it would be to get to the ship. 7 to 9, that's the potentially dangerous barrier. Yeah?
Yeah.
Gallant.
So, okay.
Gallant. That's the setup then. There
Yeah.
is the Whisper. There are members of the crew armed and guarding it. They are in friendly conversation with what looks like a locally armed guard, locals armed to help with guarding it. What are you thinking, Gallant?
Well, Gallant just wanted to, he had been kind of quietly listening and just at the end is just reminding everyone, we did find out that it was Ringgate Authority and their workers who were the ones who set the Whisper after budding colonies, and it's because they have concerns about the growth of Galliel's order. So we
And
should be aware of that.
you have a name for the contact of the Ringate intelligence operative on Budding 2? Mantis.
Mantis.
So I guess that it's about finding out more. Because what you've got at the
Yeah,
moment
yeah.
is
Deacon just wants
hypothesis.
to make sure that that information is out there and like
Yeah.
out of character, like Jax and
Yeah.
Joe. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, but Deacon was rather reserved comparatively to how he usually behaves.
Okay.
In this, yeah.
So following rather than leading at this point.
Currently, yeah.
Okay. So Nestor, what's your plan
Well,
here?
I think, I mean, these guys, they need repair, right? So if
They do.
if there was an engineer happening to be on the planet and offer their services.
If there was, it certainly wouldn't be a local.
Yeah, exactly. So we
And
might supply one of those, right? Just need a backstory for that. And while you're doing that, maybe I can I know some of these mercs. Maybe I can sneak into the village and find either people who owe me or someone of the crew who is not exactly my enemy, and try to, I don't know, talk to them or get them or whatever.
I don't think you're going to find anyone in the crew who's a friend.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, but I
but
could
the
find
community,
someone of the locals,
yeah,
right?
I mean, you can cash in that favor to roll with advantage in relation to the Forsaken.
Okay.
So it's just a question of what's your objective in that? What do you want? What is this about? Finding out or getting access or what else?
I mean, I might disguise myself. That means I have to leave my power armor.
Yes.
I don't know. Let's go with maybe, I don't know, Dr. Rillisk, if you're even willing to do this.
Well, Rillisk is busy
Oh,
cleaning fuel injectors.
I would be more than
Awesome.
willing, but I've only got 2 pair of hands since you're covered in green muck
I
currently.
can't
Yeah.
clean the fuel injectors. That's not high quality. Do you need a degree for that? I mean,
Yes.
Well,
she
no,
looks
hang on.
very, very worried.
We've already
okay.
made some decisions about that. Rillisk is
Okay.
busy with the shuttle.
Oh,
The
then,
three of you
okay.
are in a position to act in relation
Okay.
to the settlement.
Okay, but I don't know, Jax, do you know how to fix the ship, or can you pretend that you know?
Perhaps I could be a concerned citizen who knows someone who will be arriving in town soon.
I mean,
Oh.
you do not look at all like a local.
Yeah. Yeah, Deacon says that kind of like deadpan, like just
Yeah,
does
you know,
not like
the
Well, I mean-
uniform is a giveaway.
I mean, we could disguise you, I guess.
You could try that.
I mean-
I would very happily have you roll to find an angle at disadvantage, unless someone's got a move that makes them
I could
particularly good at
also
this.
just be in town, as I should be, technically, to preach the word of Galliel and have noticed they're in distress. And
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
so is the deacon going to stroll into town and find a soapbox from which to preach?
The
Ah.
thing,
Mm.
sorry, go ahead.
no, go for it, Sabine.
We need someone on that ship who can access files. You can do that, I assume. I'm sorry to ask this, but
I mean,
because
everyone can do everything. You know, there's always take the risk, isn't there, as a
Yeah, okay.
catch-all move.
I wonder if the scoundrel may be well suited to attempt to exploit to somebody who put in the comment, we don't actually have to fix their ship. We just have to pretend to, or put ourselves in a position to.
Ideally, you don't fix their ship.
Yeah,
Let's be
ideally
honest.
we
Yeah,
sabotage
make it
the
worse.
ship.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say that Jax is the perfect person to crack and exploit a access to a ship.
I also like
that.
the idea of perhaps Deacon Gallant creating a bit of a distraction, or like what you had described. If Deacon Gallant maybe goes and starts proselytizing a bit, and kind of creates a bit of a I guess we have to decide, am I going to try to sneak on the ship with a distraction, or am I going to try to pretend I'm like here as a engineer, and I'm a stranded engineer. How lucky for you that I happen to be here on Void 3. I'm okay with either one. What do we think is most reasonable?
Let's see how this unfolds. It seems to me there's a multi-step plan here. The first of which is Deacon Gallant sneaks into town and starts preaching. And the hope is that's either find an angle or your impress move, Deacon. And then we see where that goes, and then you have, depending on circumstances, you need to make some decisions, Jax.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so
I can go with, and just in case something goes wrong, right?
Okay, so Nestor and Gallant, I'm going to cut to you in this settlement.
If Gallant doesn't mind, if you
No,
mind
it's
saying.
fine. And like his
Okay.
eyes are a little dead. Like not as bright and shiny as usual. But he's like, no, that's fine.
Okay.
So I'm seeing lean-tos, primitive structures. It is clear that the bits of the settlement inside the mountain are higher status than those outside the mountain. So Deacon, let's have you take your pick. Is this about impressing them using your hustler move? Speak persuasively, impose your presence? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a bit more impose your presence than sincere with how Gallant is feeling right now.
Yeah, hey, look at me.
Sort of like,
Okay.
this is Galio's order, and this is how you become better. And by the way, we have some food and rations here for those who are in need. If you want to be, if you want to be saved, the way to do this is through Galio's teaching. You are suffering now, and you would suffer less if you like a kind of almost a bit more doomsday preachery than is a bit the typical of Gallant's behavior.
Fine. Let's go for it. Let's roll plus force.
Do I touch the curse dice or do I touch Nestor's dice?
You can touch my dice. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna play with Nestor's dice. Thank you. Oh, nice. 9, 10.
10
Nice.
on a 10 plus. What is the impression you want to create here? Authority? Yeah, what are you wanting the impression to be?
I think the impression is that the answer to all their problems is Galliel. They just really should be taking in those lessons and the gospel and devote, this shouldn't be,
Mm.
wait, this should be budding 3, or not even budding. I think it's still the seedling or whatever our lesser one is. Like that would be better for all of them and everyone around.
I think on that, was that 7 to 9? It was, wasn't it?
It was a 10.
It was a 10. Oh, on a 10, this goes brilliantly. And one of the locals comes up to you and in, really badly accented, because language must have diverged a bit, but says, this is what the bishop tells us.
You have a bishop here.
Yes. And points towards the network of tunnels and structures in the mountain.
Would it be possible for you to arrange a meeting with the bishop and I? It sounds like we have much to
Oh
talk
no,
about.
no, I no, you need to talk to the council. You know, that's their. I wouldn't dare interfere in things like that.
All right. Well, then can you show me to the council?
And they point at the large doors in the side of
Again,
the
just
mountain.
yep, there. All right. Well, once I'm done distributing aid, and he'll like look to some like meager ration supplies and things like he's brought out to help people, I will go over there to speak with them. Thank you so much for this information. May Galliel be with you.
And with you, says this apparent kind of believer. Jax, you see in one kind of bit of this settlement quite a crowd as being formed around Gallant. What do you want to do? And then we'll have Rillisk see how the repairs have gone.
Okay, so I think while that's happening, I think the best play here, because the mercenaries that are guarding this thing aren't going to be overly distracted by, they may be a little bit interested in what's going on. But I think while that's happening, we'll see Jax kind of stroll over to the ship, kind of nonchalantly, just looking at it, walking up.
When you get within about 10 meters, weapons will come up and say, "Who the fuck are you?"
It's like, whoa. I just saw your ship. I'm here with the preacher. You guys ran into some trouble. I'm pilot, kind of engineer. I kind of take care of everything for the preacher over there. Do you guys need someone to take a look at this?
So I think that there's notice that your exploit move requires some preamble. They already trust you, or they're already kind of at your mercy, and then we see how it goes. So how are you seeking to, if that's the way you want to go, how are you seeking to set that move up? Is this compel?
Yeah, I think it is convince. Yeah, that's essentially what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to convince them that they need me to look at their ship.
Okay. So it doesn't sound like threat or incite.
No,
it's either deceit, or it's sincerity.
Yeah,
I have to say I think it's deceit, because you have a motive here, don't you?
Yep, it's shady. It's all shady all the time.
But I have to say, I think this is a disadvantage, because they are under some strict instructions to keep the ship safe from Golvan. And Golvan's reputation among his crew is pretty scary. So you're going to be rolling shady at disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
Ugh, if only I could aid you with my advantage.
Yeah.
Can I do something to give him advantage?
I think that you're over there with Gallant.
Okay.
So I think that's a tricky
fair enough.
one to fictionalize.
So just a quick question. So one of the pieces of gear are fake credentials.
Yes.
Could I pick some, like, just that kind of show, like, some sort of credentials of, like, the, I don't know, engineers union sort of thing, just to get rid of the disadvantage at least?
Yeah, absolutely. If you stress, put a tick in the fix box next to your credentials, and the rest of you might want to be selecting your equipment. So yeah, Jax, by all means, stress that, and it will get rid of the disadvantage. Roll plus shady flat.
Right. Over to the which dice to use. All right.
Nine. Well, whichever ones it was, it worked, didn't it? So on a base of 9, you'll need 7 plus. They'll do what you want, so long as it won't put them in direct risk of harm. Well, I think there is a risk of harm here. you'll need to do something else, such as sweeten a deal, demonstrate any threat, substantiate any lie, accept that their cooperation comes with a complication. So I'm thinking, do you want to accept their cooperation with a complication or provide evidence to substantiate your lie?
I am not sure how I'm going to substantiate my lie at this point. Um, uh,
While you're thinking
Yeah,
about this, let's cut
yeah.
back to Dr. Rillisk, who is trying to clear your intake filters. So this sounds like roll with finesse.
Yeah. And I'm at the ship still, so
Yeah.
I still have access to all my gear. Uh, I will get the engineering kit out, I suppose, machine maintenance and repair. And if I stress that, then I get advantage on the roll, right?
You do.
Yeah, well, let's do that. It seems like an important one, and maybe perhaps it's something that I'd leave behind if I leave the ship.
Fair enough.
What else am I going to repair?
Precisely. Oh my goodness me.
Jesus Christ.
2 1s and a 3.
I think I'm going to use Nestor's dice from now on. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
So on that basis, the shuttle is fucked.
Shuttle is fucked. Yeah.
It's going to need a significant strip down and work. So you're going to need time and some cooperation to get this done. This is not going to. You are not going back to orbit or anywhere else on the planet in a hurry in the shuttle.
I told you we should have brought the fortitude down.
So I think probably at the point where you get to that little rise, you can see Gallant heading towards the hierarchy, the structure in the mountain. Nestor, I need you now to decide: do you go with Gallant or head back to where Jax is, or have you got another plan?
I think I'm going with Gallant because if he has to talk to the hierarchy guys, these are the guys who hired me, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I can maybe cash in the favor when
You
he's
might
doing
well.
his
You might well.
thing, right? So for his thing.
So Jax,
I will
oh, sorry.
tell Gallant that these guys owe me a favor. So if you run into trouble, you might lean on that.
Spot
All
on.
right.
So Nestor heads off with Gallant in search of a bishop and or the Council of Forsaken. Jax, substantiate the lie around the engineering problems that you claim to have spotted, or take a complication.
Yeah, I was looking at. I'll take the complication.
Okay.
Why not?
I think the complication, because I'm slightly worried about where you're all going at the minute. The complication is, okay, we'll take you to see the captain, and if you can convince him, then that's fine. Yeah?
Yeah.
Dr. Rillisk, one of the mercenaries you see leading Jax off in broadly the same direction into the main structures here. What do you want to do, Rillisk?
I think I'll follow at a discreet pace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which ones? Gallant, where's your attention, I think, is what I'm trying to work out.
Jax, I think.
Fair enough.
Because
yeah.
It occurs to me that, there's a damaged ship here that could be good for scavenge parts.
Okay. So Rillisk kind of, we see you go over the rise down into the settlement and weave through through thereafter. Jax at a discreet distance until you tell me it's not. Nestor and Gallant head to to one of the main entrances, and it is 3 minutes to break time. So I'm going to suggest we take a break now and come back at 5 past the hour and try to work out who you're talking to. Yeah. See you at 5 past. So I think I'm going to kind of because we are in our finale, I want to hard frame us to some places of progress here, I guess. So, Nestor, do you spend your favor to get an audience to get inside this main location, or does Deacon Gallant burn a favor with the Order to get an audience with the Bishop? Which one of, because either one of those would fly.
I mean, my favor is pretty much limited to this place here, right?
Yeah, go for it.
So it might make more sense to do that because the favor with your order could be used at other
Yeah, no, I agree.
places.
Fair enough. So I'm not going to make you roll for that. That simply greases the wheels, gets you in to an audience, and then into an audience with the Bishop.
Yeah.
Jack,
and I have just one question.
Yeah.
We have to fix our gear now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I've taken my power armor and left it at the ship. I have some other armor and probably helmet or something that hides my face, but I don't take the power armor. It might be too it's too noticeable.
It's a bit obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, and I stole it, so.
Rillisk, do you want to trade in that engineering kit for something else?
You know, it occurs to me that I might need it to dismantle
something,
some stuff, you know, like sabotage their ship, or so I guess I need it for the flavor anyways, don't I?
Okay, fair enough.
And I'll take the data tablet so that there's a way of hacking the ship if need be, and I'll take a pistol because it seems to be probably a time that I'll need it.
Just so can we share gear at all? Just so you know,
no.
Okay, so no, I also took a data tablet, assuming I was going to need it to fiddle with the ship as well. So.
I mean, I have to say, in terms of hacking, Jax is better placed than Rillisk.
Yes, yeah, entirely. I wasn't sure what everybody else has. So I think I will probably take armor or the drone. The drone, you know, armor. I don't think this is a drone situation because we've got eyes on through social engineering rather than technology. So armor's a good one, you know, really strapping up, double checking the straps, like triple checking them, maybe has like a little tick box as she checks the straps one more time, takes them off again.
So I think Jax, again, I'm not going to sweat it. I'm going to put you in an audience with Captain Golvan. My only question is whether, Rillisk, you want to ride on the coattails of that or whether you have other options in mind.
No, I think riding on those coattails is appropriate. I mean, I'd even be happy to be introduced as Jax's associate, perhaps, if we wanted to just simplify it a bit more rather than have me dogging his hit trail.
Fine. So let's do the audience with Golvan first. Jax and Rillisk. This is a guy who doesn't look nice. He's busy in conversation with one of the locals. And I'll probably give you a face on one of the locals in a moment. I've put this face underneath Golvan in the faces and places. And is not happy to be being disturbed. What's the line you take? What have you and Rillisk agreed in advance, or what are you thinking, Jax?
Yeah, I think like, let me toss this out there if we have a moment to just kind of get our story straight. Like, I think maybe we just go a little hard at this, and like if he gets he's not going to be a happy camper. I'll just say, you know, we can kind of be like, hey, you know what? I saw an opportunity, you know, I offered my services. Fine. You don't want help? That's fine by me, you know, kind of like do it like that back at him. Not seem overly eager. Does that sound and then like, you know, you're maybe my associate or something. If I'll try to get you on there too.
You get the jobs, and I help you do them. It's a simple arrangement, and if they want it fixed, then that's what they'll want, right? It's
Yep.
hardly, it's practically the truth.
Exactly.
Um, I think he's agreeable to that in principle, but he really has more important business to deal with. He's not in a hurry to get off the planet. You know, we're old friends here. So look, just cool your heels for a bit while I get my business done. You know, just they'll give you a drink outside. Just and then we'll talk about the details. But this is more important, is the sense you get, the conversation with this local. Let me cut to Gallant and Nestor being led through this vaguely subterranean network of habitation in the mount, drilled into the side of the mountain. Very clearly, this is some kind of pre-collapse structure that they have they've occupied and adapted. Uh, the technology has been stripped out and used for parts over the millennia, but you are ushered into an area of this where the symbol, we've never talked about what the symbol is, but there's some indication that this is an area of the settlement reserved for Galliel's Aiden Order, Deacon. And you're ushered in, and there is another meeting going on between a bishop of the order. I've not been able to find a good picture of somebody in a uniform. So we know what the uniform looks like from Dean Archibald.
Yes.
But also another local who looks more like this. I've put this one in next to our friend, our other council member. And Bishop Farris kind of you come in, looks at and takes a double take.
Yeah,
Who are
I'm
you?
a little surprised. Like, do I recognize Bishop Ferris at all, or just that they're more...
Yeah. I mean, let's. How could we resolve that? Let's have you roll to investigate. Roll plus sharp. What do you remember?
Oh, Jesus.
Perhaps not a lot, but let's give it a go.
We're gonna find out. Where's my quick. Yeah, no. Okay, there's nothing I can do to make this better.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, it's just like, well, it moves this, that now.
You could spend a favor
I don't know
to
if I can
get an
help you.
advantage.
It's too late for that. I already rolled.
Okay.
But thankfully it was an 8. -1 is a 7.
Okay. On a 7, I will provide you. Bishop Farris is the head of the missionary arm of the order.
Oh, so that means he's like who I directly should report. Like,
you may be part of the same arm.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's a couple of deans between you and him.
Yeah, a couple of deans between me and him, but he's essentially probably who's in charge of the section that I was recently promoted to when I started this and became a deacon. It's probably like under his ministry, like specifically.
And I think that on a 7 to 9, a questionable or unsavory act on your part. I think that he says, I recognize you. Gallant, yes?
Yes, Deacon Gallant, sir.
Yeah, I know you're a deacon. What I'm not certain about is why you are here and why I'm only hearing about that now.
May we speak in private for a moment, sir?
Very well. Nestor, the bishop will take Gallant away one way, leaving you in the room with that council member. Is there
That's
anything
fine.
you want to do?
I want to talk to the council member, figure out what that guy is doing here.
Okay.
Right? Like, what's with this guy? I have no idea who he is, but obviously, but he seems like he has a damaged ship. Is there anything going on that we should be aware about? I don't want whoever did that to his ship to do that to my ship,
Okay, okay. So let's.
which is
Oh,
rather unlikely.
did Kay just drop out?
The deacon has
Fingers
gone.
crossed. The deacon's in a different room. Nestor, so what's the approach you're taking here? What are you wanting to? Is this? Are you asking questions? You are investigating? Are you trying to get them on side?
Let me check the basic moves. Convince, compel. Could try to deceive or mislead them. But right now I really rather I need to figure out stuff, right?
So it sounds like investigate.
Yeah.
What can you
Afraid
get from
so.
the conversation? So yeah, go ahead. Roll plus sharp.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Probably not gonna work, but you never know. Oh, wow, it's a 9.
Well, fancy that. On a 7 plus, the GM provides relevant information. You've seen that ship. And again, I'm not going to do accents and dialect. Oh, there's Kay back in. There we go. The gist that he passes on to you is you people of the church, of the order, because I think he just assumes that you're with the order because you came in with Gallant.
Yeah, I'm not disputing
And
that
the
for
whole
now.
uniform thing is probably going over his head.
Yeah.
It's important who completes a task for us. And I'm trying to convince the bishop that it would be to the order's advantage to undertake a task. But another council member has a relationship with other starfolk, and I fear is setting them off in competition.
They're gonna fuck you over. You know that, right? These other
Well, that's
guys.
why
The Galliel people probably will just chew your ears off with their Galliel thing, but these guys,
So
they
you're not with
will.
the order.
I'm just traveling with them. I mean, the order's nice enough, okay? They're nice enough, but maybe. But the other guys, I take the order over them anyway. And I don't know what that task is that you need to complete it, but as I can say, these other guys, they will fuck you over.
So just so I'm clear, are you saying that Golvan and his crew will fuck this
Yeah.
guy over?
Oh,
Yeah, okay,
yes.
okay,
Yes,
right.
no, Galliel will
Okay.
probably fuck them over in another way, but it's more an emotional fucking over, right?
So
So
Rillisk and Jax, you can hear heated conversation going on in the adjacent room, separated by a kind of curtain from you. What, if anything, do you do, Rillisk?
Well, we're currently waiting to see if we've got the job, right?
You are.
Yeah.
While a heated conversation goes on next door.
Yeah. I mean, we're not near the ship, are we? We're just in a. We don't know where the Whisper is even.
Exactly. Well, the Whisper is parked outside.
Whisper is
But you
parked
are
outside.
you're inside the main. You're deep in the rock now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really see anything to do other than wait for them to see whether they'll give us access to the ship, because it feels as though if we sneak ahead and they were going to give it to us anyways, then
Okay.
we've ruined our chances of,
Yeah.
we've spoiled our own
Jax,
game.
do you want to do anything while you're waiting?
No, that I briefly was looking at the fact that the data tablet has a ranged far sort of tag, but discretion is the better part of valor, and I agree with Doctor. Like I think at this moment we probably think, he hasn't killed us, and that sort of stuff. So maybe just waiting would be better.
I tell you what we could do. Quickly, pass me a data tablet, and I will try and find an angle, looking at the damage that we did to their ship down, and I'll try and give us advantage on any bluffing, any dodge, like to build like a sort of like we're lying and saying that we don't know about how deadly damage their ship is, but I can cheat on the homework by looking at that damage.
Fine. Let's have you find an angle on that then.
I think that's with sharp knowledge, understanding, or reason.
I think it probably is.
going to roll Nestor's dice, given how badly the last one's treated me. Yeah, that's much better. That's a 7.
A 7. Oh, much better. Right.
Well,
Okay.
actually, no, that's an 8. But it did the roll for your party thing where it was a better die roll, and then suddenly it resolved to a slightly worse one.
You succeed. You have advantage, but there is a cost to this, I think, and the cost is that you're not going to be dealing with Golvan. He's going to farm you off to somebody with less access or less power. Some other member of the crew, because he's got something really important going on in there, is the sense you get. Deacon Gallant, the bishop takes you to one side and says, this could be very convenient, Gallant. I see that you're traveling with some stranger. The primitive out there wants the order to do them a favor, to show that they are more important than any other member of the council. Your friend out there seems to be of a violent nature, and I think we're just building that off low-tech armor and advanced rifle. So we're building that off first impression.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, my compatriot, Nestor, well, not my compatriot, but my ship ally, Nestor, is a former mercenary.
And just because I've just noticed in the chat, what Nestor was finding out from the member of the council was that they are looking to get Galliel's order to do them a favor. So it's confirming that. And Nestor has done his best to poison the well in terms of Golvan and a different council member. I would like you and your friend out there to undertake this task on my behalf.
All right, what is the task?
You are to bring this man the head of a rebel.
This person has slandered Galliel's order and
No.
word?
A rebel, someone who's against the council. The details escape me. You can find that out. But they just want this person dead, and they want proof of death.
Want to kill someone who is not a heretic? And he looks like genuinely confused.
Let me remind you, Deacon, and he emphasizes Deacon, that the order is interested in increasing the gifts that it can offer other cultures, other societies, other people. In the missionary service, sometimes that requires difficult decisions, Deacon. I have made such a difficult decision, and I have passed that on to you. Are we clear?
Yes, Bishop, we are clear. Additionally, I did want to let you know that the reason I'm here is we were dropping off supplies to Budding 2 when Budding 2, as well as ourselves, were attacked by a ship.
Now,
We found it was
can I just, before you go down that route,
yes.
Dean Archibald was very keen that the hierarchy of the order didn't find out until he had some cards in his hand to play.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, Deacon wouldn't spill the beans. Okay, yeah, no, Deacon wouldn't. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And so he's like, all right, I and my compatriot, do you have any more information on this dissident?
No, he will provide the details. Just go and get your friend to kill him, or her, whatever it is. And then we'll cut back to Rillisk and Jax. And you hear Golvan say something like, as you're in conversation now, he's put somebody on, in front of you to come to some arrangements. You hear Golvan say, and if I do this, our previous arrangement stands. And you hear the member of the council saying, yes, my friend, of course. So, Jax and Rillisk, you're talking to his first mate, his XO, his whatever, second in command. Let's have you, Jax, I think that you did the setup. I put a complex set of complications in your way. You do have a degree of, I think, trust. I don't think they're vulnerable, so I don't think this is roll plus finesse. This is roll plus shady to pursue the lie. And you have advantage because of what Rillisk can feed you in terms of that advantage. Yeah? So what are you wanting to take from them? Because when you want to take their life or confidence, a secret or a possession or something else from someone that GM agrees is already sufficiently trustworthy, roll plus shady. And then we'll cut to you aboard their ship.
Yeah. So I think
unless this goes badly.
Yeah. I actually think so. Are we still at the point where what we're trying to get is onto the ship, or have we gotten past that
Well,
part?
I don't know. That was what you were setting up for.
Right. So yeah, so sorry, I was just so
I suppose
we the audience know that the plot has moved on elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can take advantage of that if you want to. Because that's the way a writer's room works, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, I think what we want is we want to get this person to seal the deal and let us fix the ship for him.
Fine. Let's have you roll plus shady.
With advantage?
With
you
advantage.
said with advantage? Okay. All right. With advantage, 10.
10. Okay. So on a 7 plus you succeed. There are no downsides to that. I will cut to you aboard the Whisper, where you are, I think, going to crack the system and try to find some stuff out. Jax.
That is correct.
Gallant. Yeah. You go back into the room where Nestor has been having a conversation with the council member. What do you say?
I think he will make his way towards Nestor's side, like allow Nestor, of course, to finish any conversation Nestor is having. Will not be rude, but will eventually lean in a little and say, I think we have an additional task that will help us further other goals that the bishop has set upon me. And like,
Okay.
his voice is so light. There's no boisterous lilting, like, she just passes this message on to you. I believe it falls under your specialties, Nestor, the task. It should be for the councilman.
Yeah, I think there is some dispute on who's going to do the task and side from the council people. Do you know?
I think at that point the councilman will say that is why it is important that you make this. That if the bishop is giving you the go ahead, you must go and do it now before Sexa gets there.
Fine. What do you need me to do?
I need you to kill someone, and then bring me their head.
Oh, their head, right? Okay, fine. Do I need to take it off, or can I bring it with the body attached and you will take it off?
Whatever is convenient to you, as long as I have proof that that person is dead.
Fine. Where is that person?
We believe she has run to the old place.
What is her name? What does she look like?
Shiftcom. You will know her by her horns.
Horns. Okay, fine. Shiftcom.
Shiftcom.
And she's one of these rebel guys you've been dealing
She
with.
is a danger to our to the council and to the society that we have here. And she must die, must be seen to die, and I must be seen to be the person who succeeded in getting her dead.
Because of your internal power thing, right? Yeah.
Because I am Vicor, and it is for me to lead.
Oh, okay. Fine. Fine. And I give the deacon this, yeah, great, thank you very much look, because I'm not really, you can see that Nestor is really not quite down with this whole, yeah, go and kill this person. But since you said it and they've said it, he's used to taking orders. So
We'll be on our way then.
yeah.
Fine. So you will get some directions to where the old place is.
Do we have communications with the other guys?
I am very happy for you to have comms, yeah.
Because I think they should be informed that we are currently rebel hunting for whatever reason. No, that we have been given the task to finish off this rebel, and we are currently, at least, going in that direction.
And I think that probably comes through as you arrive on the operations deck of the Whisper.
Well, we're on board the Whisper, but like leaning into a corner as I like unscrew a panel and just go like and I start whispering on the Whisper. We're on board the Whisper, and I think Jax will have an opportunity to scan their files soon, but I couldn't get the shuttle working. The spores here have worked their way straight into the intakes. I'm going to try and liberate some of the filters from the Whisper, but if not, then we're definitely going to need the help of the Forsaken to get off this rock. Or of somebody.
Oh.
We may have additional aid as long as we complete our task. There's a bishop here, so be mindful.
Oh, well, I suppose we can just pray for it then.
And I'm going on a private channel very quietly, so hopefully, I mean, Deacon Gallant might hear it, but or he might not. And it's like, and I'm saying this bishop has a ship too with air filters, just saying. Probably.
Well, I'm sure that Gallia will take care of him no matter what, so perhaps.
Exactly.
So Jax, while Rillisk is making busy, are you trying to rip some information out of the logs of the Whisper?
Yes, I am. So, yeah, I like the scene to be, Dr. Rillisk is just like tearing a lot of stuff apart, right? Like taking a lot of stuff apart, whether it needs to be taken apart or not. And as is Jax, he's just unscrewing stuff and things while he kind of making a lot of noise just to try to like disguise what he's doing and loudly talking about, oh, this does not look good. This does not look good. We probably got a level 2 issue here with the converter thruster pack. So and that's kind of what you see happening, and all the while he's like manipulating the data pad to try to get cracked in and do what he's doing. So
fine. So this is data systems or store roll plus sharp to crack the system.
Right.
Using your data tablet, I'm guessing, plugged in.
Yep.
Or yeah.
So does the tool give you advantage or anything, or is it just a required element of it?
The tool gives you fictional positioning. If you wanted to stress it, I'd let you roll with advantage.
Fred?
Which would mean that its data, you filled its data store, and it'll be disadvantaged to do other things for you until you get to fix it.
The other option is cred. I'm trying to think of a downtime. I'll just stress the data tablet.
Fine. Roll with advantage.
Looks like 9, 10.
10. Okay. So on a 10, you succeed. And there are no downsides to that. You gain advantage related to your success. So you have ripped the logs out. And I think that given that you don't want to be caught in the act, I think I'm going to say that you have those logs, but it will take a little while to interrogate them, but you will have advantage to draw any conclusions you like from them. Yeah?
Yep.
Dr. Rillisk, clearly you need to look at the engineering deck
Of
and
course.
the reactor and maybe the fuel intakes or whatever. So what do we see you doing while Jax is busy checking the software configuration?
It looks like you see here you've whatever damage you've taken going through the atmosphere, one assumes. Looking at the notable bullet holes and missile scouring, that I think it shook something loose in the engines. We're going to need to go down there and strip out the filters. They may look perfectly intact, but they've got subatomic particulates shredding them. Going to need to change the whole things. I'm going to go down there and see if I can liberate some parts for our own purposes.
This sounds like deconstruct.
Yes, yeah.
Time is kind of at the essence, so I think this is more likely to be a brute force solution, which is I'll need to take these outside to clean them.
Mm-hmm. So that's a force, which is, I believe, a 0 for me. Yes.
Because what would be embarrassing is if Golvan comes back to the ship in pursuit of this rebel while you're still around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's 7.
7. Wow, close round thing. On a 7 plus, you succeed. 7 to 9. The GM says what it costs. I think it can't be temporary because you're taking the filters. You and your relevant tools are stressed. I'm going to give you one emotional stress because of the tension of having to get this done in a hurry.
Yeah, I think the guy that Golvan assigned to watch over us, I have to keep getting him to help me with things, and I keep lying to him, and it's just like the sweat building up as the lies get more and more far-fetched.
And then I think probably we see the pair of you leaving the Whisper, and because time is plot flexible here, you are leaving with 2 large pieces of equipment. That means that it is going to struggle to take off, and you might be able to crack the filter problem more easily now. At the point when Nestor and Deacon Gallant are emerging from the catacomb of network of tunnels with a mission. Now, it's an interesting question here whether that mission is now defunct and put away or not. But
I will talk to Nestor, to the deacon, and I'll say to him, killing this guy is not exactly what we're here for. This girl, this lady, this person.
This horned person.
This horned person.
Deacon
It is
Gallant,
not, but
where are you on this?
but Galliel works in strange ways, and I believe that this must be why we are here.
No, we are here to figure out why the Ringgate Authority has contracted the Whisper. That's why we're here.
Yes, and in addition, perhaps some of those answers can be found by performing this task that Galliel necessitates us to do.
Does Gallia do that, or is that just your bishop wanting to get some clout? Because if you want me to go and kill someone, I don't like this. I'm not a hired assassin. I'm a mercenary. So I don't know.
Jax, I think you probably come together at the point where that conversation reaches that point. What's your thinking at this point, Jax?
So Jax is listening and he's thinking back to things that he has done and failed to do in his life, and he's, I, I didn't sign on. You know, we're not assassins. I said, I don't know. There's something about this just doesn't feel right. Uh, we came here to get our stuff. There's no profit in us, you know,
Yeah.
assassinating this person.
Yeah.
My vote would be to get those filters installed and get the hell out of here.
Dr. Rillisk, what's your thinking?
Yeah, that's like a good plan.
Fine. And I think that as you disappear over that rise back to where the shuttle is, we will see Golvan and the rest of the crew marching towards the Whisper. Yeah. Rillisk, you've got the tools for the job. I'm going to give you advantage because you now got spare parts.
Great.
So roll with advantage to fix the air filters or the filters.
Oh, that's an 11. I had me worried for a moment then. It came
They
down
are
on a
fixed.
distinctly worse result.
They are fixed. And so I think this is the point where we see the shuttle making a discreet exit to orbit at the same time as we will cut to Golvan on his operations deck saying, "What the fuck?" and shooting one of the crew who was there to supervise you.
Can it be the panel comes up in all green lights, and he's like, and then he looks underneath the panel, and you can just see where the wires have been spliced into each other. They're no longer connected to anything else. It's just a green light panel
now. So there's frustration on his part. As the shuttle is going up, who's got? No, let me go to Nestor.
Yeah.
Nestor, will you roll to find an angle, please?
For what?
No, I want you to take a risk, I think.
Okay. What am I doing here? We're leaving.
You're leaving. You're heading back to the
Is Gallant
fortresses.
with us? Because he was like, we should do this for Galileo.
That's my question, really. Is are you going to be able to get Gallant on board?
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking, Gallant?
As I looked to my side messages I just sent, yeah, no. It looked at first like maybe he was about to, but as all three of you were like, no, we're not doing this. I think in a moment when you guys are busy and getting the shuttle ready, Gallant has left.
So I want you to roll to take that risk, Nestor. Not to get Gallant aboard, but to see whether you spot something. So roll to take a risk, and I think this is either finesse or sharp.
I'm rolling with finesse, thank you very much.
Okay. Because do you spot something out the corner of your eye?
Do I spot something? I do not spot anything.
You fail. The GM says, what costs you pay?
Yeah.
You don't spot anything, but you are conscious that you have just been scanned by active sensors from an RGA ship in orbit.
Oh. Okay.
Because I think, Jax, you discovered over recent times that the RGA was showing an unusual interest in this planet. And a call comes through, Nestor, saying, unidentified shuttle on surface of void 3. Please report your purpose and intentions. Who picks up the comms? Or does
I feel like
no
that's
one?
usually Deacon's job, and Deacon isn't there to do it.
Isn't there?
That's
everyone looks round to the comms panel and shit, where's Deacon Gallant?
Alan, I feel that Nestor would have noticed if Deacon Gallant left in the middle of the conversation, right? Because they were together and he's like, okay, now we've lost the Deacon.
The Deacon has made a decision.
Damn it. Well, okay, this guy. Okay.
Who's going to respond to the RGA in orbit?
I can do that. Anybody else wants to? But
I wonder if Jax feels like he can maybe sweet talk. Uh, he's been riding a lot of. He's probably fairly confident that he can. He's like, I got this, and I think he grabs the comps and is like, RGA ship. This is shuttle XYZ. Yeah, we just had a little ship trouble, and we needed to come down on the planet. It's all good now. We're all good here. How are you guys?
Let's have you roll to convince with sincerity.
Oh, do I have any no, I have no sincerity at all. So 10.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Nestor's dice are the best.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we are interdicting airspace for a period of time. We need to get someone to the surface. So just stay where you are, shuttle, fortitude, and we'll give you the all clear when it's fine to leave.
Oh, okay. Can I push back on that with another roll, or how would I?
I think on a 10 plus, they will absolutely not bother you. But it does appear they have some important thing going on. And that, I think, is when you'll see a shuttle streak out of orbit towards the planetary surface.
I think I don't want to be here when they start investigating stuff. So can you give me some sort of stealth mode?
Not on that shuttle, I can't.
Oh.
So the result of a 10 plus was that they tell us to wait in orbit, basically.
They're not bothered by you at all.
Okay.
You're not a threat to them.
Oh, okay.
They're fine. Everything's okay. Yeah, everything's fine.
But we can go back to the ship, right? We're just not supposed
right
to.
now. They will give you an all clear shortly.
Huh.
But what is perhaps interesting is that shuttle that's just broken orbit to head to the surface is heading in a similar direction to Deacon Gallant.
Well, we won Gallant, I guess.
Yeah. If he's still got his comm stuff, yeah.
Now, hey, there's just to step back from it. There's a point here where there is an exit for Gallant.
Yeah.
If you want to take it or not.
Gallant is feeling lost and is looking for something to affirm his belief. And he has probably, is probably going to go do this, which is wild because he's never personally ever hurt someone like this. But he just felt like the others weren't listening. He felt like he couldn't be persuasive, and they just weren't understanding, and he needs to do this for himself.
Well, is that the point then where I say to the other three, Deacon says, I have a job to do, I'm going to go and do it. And is this the point where Deacon exits this episode?
I think Deacon said, it could be the point where he exits the episode. I think he, says, like, if you are unwilling to aid me, that is your choice. Hopefully I'll be able to reboard ship as per my passage, once I've completed my tasks, but I made a promise to my bishop.
Yeah, because the part of the point of today was to face Gallant with some kind of choice around his faith.
Yes.
And this seems like an appropriate place where Gallant has made that, and we know that you have to go in the next kind of 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah. I guess all we can say is, may Galliel be with you, Deacon, because we can't be. End comms,
I think the choice is I think a choice hasn't been made. A path is walked toward a choice. A choice will be made whether he actually kills someone or not.
Fine. And we can resolve that at the start of it, because that's the choice, isn't it? In fact, what about a scene at this point where we see Gallant emerging from the jungle an encampment among some old ruins.
Mhm.
And what we see is Gallant seeing a woman, and I think I may have a picture of that woman to play with, or maybe I didn't. Hang on, let me have a look. I thought I had, but I haven't. That's a pain, isn't it? Hang on. No, I didn't. But someone whose hair has been formed into these very obvious horns. Um, and is this the point where we cut back from Gallant, who now is at that decision point, and we'll find out which way that goes in February when we have season 2?
Yeah, if we'd like. It works.
Or do you want to do it now? Because it just seems.
That's spicy. What do people think? Would people rather wait and have a cliffhanger, or would they like to know what the deacon's gonna do?
What's the last scene we see? Okay,
Oh,
like what's the last
You know,
oh,
doesn't
you
have
know
to be
what?
in act, but
Actually,
like
that could
what's
be
it?
so poignant, and I think especially after Dr. Rillisk's comment, uh, he's feeling more lost than ever and just wanting grounding and things to make sense. And I think he's gonna kill this woman, or try to at least.
It's the last scene of like raising a weapon, and then we
I
cut
mean,
away.
well, no,
well, yeah,
it's worse than that. The
he
deacon
doesn't.
doesn't have a weapon.
I think what we see, or let me know if this
Go,
is
go.
me. Let me know if this
Epilogue.
is
Epilogue.
yeah. Let me know if this is okay. So I think we watch as Gallant, for a man of his size, moves rather swift, like shadily through the dense forest, and we watch as this woman doesn't even notice as he presses this stun ring against her back, and she falls to the ground, and we watch as Deacon uh, gets on top of her, straddling, and puts his hands to her throat. And it looks like he is about to bear down pressure to kill her. And there's tears in his eye, like tears are falling down his face. But his face is stoic. It's a stoic face with tears falling.
Oh my. And because she is clawed her way up to the Iron Age, there's certainly a very big knife at her waist.
Um, yeah. I mean, listen, he's not going to use the knife to kill. He's going to choke her gently. If you could do that while she's stunned, and then afterwards, yeah, then he might use that knife. But
Well, I think him sat on her chest, strangling her, while tears run down his face, is
mhm.
a lovely
Yeah, perfect
way
match.
to epilogue Gallant out of this series in time to return next time.
I agree.
Spot on. Thanks, Kate. Enjoy Christmas. I
Thank
am
you.
going,
Yeah.
but before you go, I'm because it is five
Yeah.
to the hour. I'm gonna pause the recording there and come back in 5 or so. But and so with that dramatic finale scene for Deacon Gallant, the question that the writers' room is now asking is how are they going to top that in the final segment of our finale? So where do you want to cut to? Because I think you're allowed the message will come through from the RGA ship in orbit that you are once that shuttle has disappeared over into the jungle, um, you have permission to launch.
We should get back to
Yeah.
Budding
Yes.
3. We should
Yes.
finish our job, get paid,
You
and
don't
then
need to. I don't think you need to convince us, Rillisk.
good. Looking nervously back over at the empty comm panel, the dark comm screen, the empty seat where Gallant would normally sit in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That's why Nestor is so short.
And so yeah, you're going to set course from here back to the ring gate, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. Or do you want a detour of well, you're heading in the direction of the ring. It doesn't matter if you're heading for the ring or the ring gate station. So let's cut to yeah, well, I guess I'm curious whether you want to try and make something of the data that Jax ripped out of there in advance, or whether you want to reserve that for the 2 weeks you're going to spend inside the ring gate.
Maybe figure it out now, because if we have to go back, it would be really fucked if we're if we notice that at
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we see you address? There's Jax. He's plugged the data tablet into the Forsaken systems. So a couple of screens are available to kind of see the data that's in there. What are we trying to do? How are we trying to do it?
It's the Fortitude, not the Forsaken, right?
The Fortitude. Sorry, yeah, the Forsaken are down there now. Yeah.
Although
Headhunting.
maybe that was a good Freudian slip there. So
Yeah, the Forsaken. Yeah. I think this may be a hypothesize, perhaps.
Yeah, I go with
And
that.
I would argue that I'm not really investigating the technology and like how does it work. I'm more investigating the anomalous activity and ring gate. I'm theorizing a conspiracy rather
Yes.
than a.
Yeah, I go with that. So which of those 5 outline hypotheses are you seeking to test using this data? A flaw or weakness, a source or origin, a purpose or function, value to or promotes the agenda of an individual or a faction, or how it might behave given the data that you now have. Because I think you're right. I think this is about beginning to work some stuff out about this conspiracy.
Source or origin would be who's particularly within Ringgate authority, assuming, putting a name to a face to a name sort of thing, to an entity, to Mantis. Purpose or function would be why, but I guess that's also it has value to or promotes the agenda of. That would be confirmed. That would be hard proving it. It has a flaw or weakness, would be how to bring it down, how to stop it, I guess. And it behaves in a predictable way will be identifying the next target, wouldn't it? Like, what's their next target? I'm trying to work out which of these best fits sort of A, the narrative, and B, like what the Dean would be particularly interested in. I am almost leaning towards it will behave in a predictable way, as in like where's the next thing that Galliel's
What's the plan?
Yeah, like, and I think that's perhaps more what these mercenaries would be in possession of, like here's a list of their targets or something like that, as opposed to, and then we leave the wider conspiracy like more ambiguous to be sorted out at a later date, supposedly, as long as people pay us for it.
Indeed so. So let's go with that.
I'm going to use Nestor's die. Don't have any advantage, but I do have my shiny +2, which is good because I only get a 7 even with that +2.
On a 7+, the GM will provide you with some relevant information and tell you how you might refine your hypotheses to get more precise information. I think that the hypothesis you draw is that the Whisper fled to Void, perhaps to interfere with Galliel's activity there, prior to returning to Galliel with enough of a gap to have another crack at budding 2.
Okay. So
does that seem like a reasonable kind of set of steps?
Yeah, I think that if there's something in there that basically confirms that they're not done with budding 2, Galliel's order and aid can't. I know that the Dean wanted to hide this under the radar but I think this is enough to then be like, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep coming. Like, this wasn't a one-off thing that I can sweep under the carpet. Now it's enough to, perhaps open up those funds for future work on behalf of Galliel's order and aid. Whereas this was out of his discretionary black budget, wasn't it? So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely certain how he's going to explain this out of
yeah.
a
Well,
re-education colony's
now,
budget.
now,
But
luckily, he doesn't need to because he's got evidence of a plot against
a
him
plot.
and of future attacks, right? Which is exactly what we need so that we can get more money out of them.
I mean, what I will also add, I think, is that the conversation you overheard between the council member and Golvan may also tie into that, interfere with the work of the bishop on Void 3. Just to make sure that there's a pin in that one. What next?
Go
Just
back.
head for the ring.
Yeah, head for the ring, head for Budding 3, get our credits, and hopefully wash our hands of Galliel and his
Okay,
whatever follower guys.
This is when you are navigating to a named destination in system, roll plus drive. Who wants to press the big red drive button?
I'm pressing the drive button.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to trust these dice because, I mean, come on, you're my dice, right? Remember that, please. So it depends on if I can do it with force. It's a
No,
bare
you have to do it with drive, I'm afraid.
Oh, I have to do the drive.
Yeah,
Oh,
which is
what's our
+1.
drive? Oh, damn. No, can somebody help? No, right? Oh,
Not
yes, somebody
really.
can.
Not
Not
really
really.
with the drive with the system,
Okay.
because it's basically a random encounter table.
Oh, yeah, okay. Fine, we fail.
Okay, 6
Because-
plus, you don't arrive,
I will destroy these dice now.
and a deep space encounter must be resolved before you can use drive again.
Okay.
I'm going to roll percentile and see whether there's anything that attracts me on the encounter. Percentile, no, roll 2d6, not a. That is a 6 and a 2 or a 2 and a 6. 6 and a 2 is a bit dull. 2 and a 6. Oh no, hang on. No, I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, because we wanted a chance to explore something, didn't we? I think that I am going to have an apparently abandoned ship.
Oh, I mean, there's always the cargo ship that we
There's
left
always
behind.
the cargo carrier. Well done,
Yeah.
that man. So, yeah, I think that there's a sense in which you feel obliged to at least check in because you were in a bit of a hurry last time.
I mean, there was no one alive back on the ship.
There were lots of bodies.
Yeah.
So maybe there's somebody who's found a pocket of atmosphere in there
okay.
who is able to hide in a locker.
Yeah, okay. Let's check it out.
Yeah. So, there it is. Now you have to decide how you are going to dock with it. Yeah. And I don't think you invested anything in boarding systems. So someone has to spacewalk. Which is crudely put, jump fast enough, hard enough, and accurately enough with force. So who wants to put a tether across?
Would I use the daredevil move for that?
I think you could.
In which case, if nobody minds, I'll jump into no atmosphere. This is fun. At least I have a spacesuit now.
You do.
A functioning one.
You have a functioning spacesuit.
Nice.
So just do it. Throw yourself across there. Roll plus force. Roll plus finesse. Sorry. Because it's personal agility, speed, or precision on this occasion, isn't it?
Okay. I mean, it was actually the dice changed. I rolled an 8. Just saying.
So what are we left with?
No, that was the previous roll, the drive roll.
Oh.
That I had failed, so I didn't fail.
Oh well, we want to, we wanted
anyway,
a chance to use explore.
We're here and exploring the ship. Sure, I'll be more patient now. It's not changing, but it's still a 7.
A 7. So
Yeah.
on a 7+, you do it. What does your success look like? I would suggest get somewhere hard to reach.
Yes. Yes, that is probably the best. Yeah.
7 to 9, GM says what your success costs you. A piece, you end up facing a new risk. Yeah, I think the reason that you're having to do this with some difficulty is because the wreckage is spinning. So now, if anybody else is going to join you aboard, they need to act very quickly to make use of that tether before the spin begins to wrap the tether round and bring you closer and closer to the wreckage. So, Jax, Rillisk, are you going aboard?
Yeah, I think it's full on aliens, big clunky spacesuits and flashlights time.
Fine.
Agreed.
And this will mean that you'll then have to sever the tether and re-tether on the way back. Yeah,
No, that sounds fun.
fair enough.
What could go wrong here,
What
right?
could go wrong? What
But we
could go wrong?
Can we
Maybe
choose new gear?
Yes.
Okay.
But one of that pieces of gear has to be a spacesuit, obviously.
Yes, okay. I don't have it on my thing, but we'll just assume that it's there, right?
I think you ought to now find it's on the drop down for
It's not.
spacesuit.
There's a is it the respirator? No.
No, you need a spacesuit.
Where's it? There, I found it. Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, you're very welcome to change anything else. I'll just hide. There we go. There's Gallant gone. Motion detector.
I mean, we're looking for people. Motion detector might work, and I'd probably put it just near wherever our point of entry is. Because
Okay.
if somebody moves there and it's not one of us, I want to know.
So your point of entry is an open airlock. Golvan and his crew left one of the airlocks. They rigged it to be open at both sides. So at least this deck, this EVA deck at the sharp end of the ship, so to speak, is going to be in vacuum. But I'd like to point you now at the explore move. If you are the first member of the crew to enter an unexplored zone of an apparently abandoned ship, habitat, facility, or other location, describe your approach, and then do you make progress using brute force and ignorance while trying to avoid notice, swiftly to get this over with by taking extra time to consider your options. I think, Nestor, you are first across, so I'm going to make you the point person for this deck, this zone.
Fair enough.
Which of those approaches do you adopt?
I'd love to say I'd try to avoid notice, but that doesn't really make a ton of sense. Knowing Nestor, right? So using brute force and ignorance. Yeah, Nestor's pissed off. So
Yeah.
using brute force, and I'm sorry, guys, but he's not very careful with this equipment.
So stamp those magnetic boots on and just start kind of making your way through the deck. Okay.
Yeah, opening doors and stuff. But I leave the motion detector near the entrance, so it will ping me if somebody comes aboard. If it's one of these guys, they will tell me. Hopefully,
it's not a remote one. It's a beep, beep, beep one.
Oh,
it's a pucker motion detector. I'm not messing about here. This is
what is it? What is the use of a motion detector?
Oh, it allows you to investigate. It will grant you advantage to investigate if you choose to stress it.
Okay. That's cool.
And to sense motions that your
eyes
I'll put it see.
To the back of my helmet. So
2d6 plus.
Yeah, 2d6 plus nothing. Oh, plus force, right?
Force.
I think these roll the same thing as before. I don't know if that's
yeah, I think they probably did.
I mean that's possible. I'll just re-roll them and see if they
changed at.
Yeah, they changed. Okay, it's fine. They are changing. So it was just a coincidence. So I'm at 8.
8. 7 to 9. The GM excludes one choice before you pick one. Well, I kind of have to exclude a breathable atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is no breathable atmosphere. There's never gravity unless it's artificially generated. There might be a slight spin gravity going on, but it's not spinning very fast, and the axis is pretty small. So the radius is pretty small. So there is no breathable atmosphere. Which do you want? Emergency lighting, you spot a hazard to avoid, or you find something of value.
I mean, we want something of value, right? Let's deal with the hazard and the non-lightning lighting. Lightning would be nice.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's dark in there. Oh, you've just got the headlights on the helmet showing your way around. You can add 1 cred, Nestor. But you're at disadvantage when a piece of sharp material spins towards you. So this is take a risk, Nestor. Roll with, I think it's probably finesse.
Yeah, that makes sense because I have to get out of the way, right?
Yeah.
I still can't sneak by it. That's a pity. Let's go. Oh no, I don't make it.
Oh, right, because you're at disadvantage. So
I'm at disadvantage.
It's not going to get any worse than that.
It did right. It could, but let's see. It wouldn't. No.
It wouldn't. Okay. So you fail. The GM says, "What cost you pay?" Let me roll a couple of dice to see whether I'm inspired by the costs table. 2, 4, 4, 2. 2, 4, an environmental or physical hazard appears where it already has. 4, 2, an old wound betrays you. No, I don't think that's it. I think that I will settle on stressing your spacesuit. Because I think there's a thin tear and you have to use your slap patch to seal that. Rillisk, is it your curiosity or Jax's self-interest that puts you on point as you continue to explore this deck?
I think we come to the this is a big cargo ship, so it probably had like cargo like freight elevators.
You're still on the EVA deck. You need to succeed with explore to, as it says, nothing impedes your progress to the next zone of the location.
Yeah, that's I'm trying to set up our moving to the next deck.
Okay, so you take the
it's
point.
The freight elevators. They're not powered. There's some damage in the boarding action, right? Like there's weapons. There's an Exodus that looks like a grenade went off in here or something, right? Fragging the. And so I'm going to have to try and work out how we can traverse decks, given that perhaps or even like as I'm poking around on it, it's like some of these seals indicate that there's still pressure remaining somewhere in the ship, or they could be broken. But perhaps it would be good to be careful rather than to have explosive decompression happen as I look over at Nestor holding onto a leaky spacesuit.
So this sounds like taking time to consider your options.
Yeah, entirely. Yeah, as I
roll sharp.
I think I'm looking on one of the, like those Weyland-Yutani style like ships layouts kind of things, like all the technical gubbins on it. Okay, I'm going to do that with Nestor's die because maybe they'll treat me well again. Oof, I mean, only a 7 again, but still better than the alternative.
Okay, GM excludes 1. I have to exclude breathable atmosphere. Do you want emergency lighting, avoid a surprise, or find something of value, or nothing impedes your progress to the next zone?
I think that it doesn't make sense to keep finding too much value on the EVA level. I mean, maybe like what we found of something of value before was like some nice escape pod parts or something like that, and navigate, like some bits of tech that can be scavenged. But I think that I'm going to go with nothing impedes our progress to the next zone or location. I managed to work out where, like, clear some of the wreckage away and expose a maintenance ladder that runs down the shaft of the elevator.
Fine. Jax, this will take you down to the ops deck, operations deck. What approach do you take as you begin to gain access and explore this deck?
So,
while I remember, we just acquired 1 cred, right? Or Nestor acquired 1 cred, so now they've got
Yes.
2 creds in their stash. Is that
Yeah.
right? So everybody but me has a lovely bit of advantage that they can take on a roll.
They do.
with their-
They do. As long as they can justify its use. So
can you
Jax,
guys, can you refresh? This ship is something that happened last session when I wasn't here.
This ship was a cargo carrier that emitted a distress signal, and when they investigated, they found that it had been attacked and boarded by the Whisper.
By the Whisper, okay.
They attacked the Whisper. It made a run for it, and by the time it had evaded them, they checked back, and it seemed to be spinning dead in space with some bodies.
Okay. All right. So we're just rando exploring.
You're exploring.
Yeah. But I guess our purpose. I'm just trying to understand. Like, what would Jax be doing? Are we trying to find survivors? Are we trying to find stuff to steal? Are we just trying to,
salvage? I guess it's like salvage is, I guess, the ostensible reason.
Survivors would be a bonus, perhaps.
Yeah. So the ops deck.
Brute spore,
I think
brute force, shady.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have not been marking off my.
Oh.
The only one I have, I think I've only used sincere, the and shady and sharp. So I think I'm good.
Okay.
So we're already in the ops deck.
Well, this is at the point where you choose to enter the ops deck.
Yeah, actually, I had a question, and it might change. So if I chose drones, can drones work in a 0G environment?
Yeah, I'm prepared to have that happen. Yeah.
Okay. So I had that question, and it was one of 2 things I was going to pick. So I think maybe he's going to release. He's got these surveillance drones with like an AV feed. So I think he's going to release this drone out into the space and try to and get a better view of what's here in an effort to understand. I think maybe the move that he's thinking about is maybe either find an angle.
No, you're on the explore move.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
There is a move for exploration to determine what conditions are like. So this sounds like taking extra time to consider your options, roll plus sharp.
Yeah. Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. So everything we're doing here is going to be on the explore move?
Unless something happens.
Okay. All right. So I'm rolling with sharp.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. I'm going back to the OG dice. I feel like they've cleaned up here. Oh, they have not. I have.
So that's 5 plus
1.
6.
Yeah.
Okay, 6 minus. As 79, but the GM also picks 1 from this list. Okay. I am going to say
with that move.
No, because I think it's well, it depends if you want this to be more or less vanilla, I guess. So do you want to help?
I mean, it would be useful, right? If we could help on
exploring. Go for it.
So I will try to help by.
How do we see you helping? Because this is a
I'm
drone.
pulling a. This is a drone
that he's released through a duct.
Through a duct. Okay.
Yeah, so you're this side of these pressure doors.
Okay. Maybe I put the motion detector on the drone.
Or even use the motion detector through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that sounds like, again, taking a slightly careful approach.
I'm afraid, yeah. I mean, I would like to blast something, but clearly that's not
I
going
don't
to
think
be
that's going to
very...
happen. So I think this is
No.
roll plus sharp.
Okay. Fine. Wow, it's a 7.
Oh, there you go. So on a 7+, you are successful. 7 to 9, the GM says what cost accompanies your success. I'm going to stress that motion detector.
That's fair.
Yeah. Um, but that improves. Oh, hang on. Am I right there? Outcome improves. So yeah, the fail becomes a success, mixed success. You suffer any cost attached to the original outcome. Yeah, which I think is probably going to be what I was going to read off the 6-. So let's have a look. Yeah, no, scratch that motion detector. I've got a better range. A security measure traps you in the zone until you can work out how to bypass it. Yeah, I think that the door at the top of this this ladder that Rillisk found seals above you. Yeah, so now you are sealed off from the EVA deck. Yeah, but that mixed success says I exclude one choice. On this occasion, I am going to exclude. What am I doing on the clock? I'm going to exclude emergency lighting. There is no emergency lighting on the other side of there, so you're working in whatever light you can provide. And then you get to pick one. Do you want a breathable atmosphere? Do you want to avoid a hazard, find something of value, or nothing impedes progress to the next zone? Jax, what do you want?
I'm picking breathable atmosphere. You've taken away emergency lighting.
Yeah. So you're all disadvantaged by spotty lighting.
I would like to find something of value.
Fine.
No. How about that's just throwing more cred in the bucket, right? I'm trying to find something that's a little more interesting. How about spotting a hazard?
Fine. You spot a hazard, so you are not surprised when it comes towards you. So we open the door. There is no breathable atmosphere, so you're still in your suits. You're disadvantaged by the lighting, so you're going to be disadvantaged to avoid this hazard anyway. I think that this is a dodgy electrical connection. Yeah. That is not a problem because of the vacuum until you touch it. So which do you think that it doesn't sound like force? It sounds like finesse or sharp.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to avoid touching this electrical
Yes.
connection.
You
I think
are reaching.
finesse.
We see you reaching towards it. We see a little spark across some connections, and then
Yeah, I think finesse to try to. Yeah, I'll use finesse.
yeah. But
At
remember,
disadvantage.
you are at disadvantage because of the spotty lighting.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stick with these dice because I feel like they're going to come out of this here.
They're
That's
going
what
to
I'm.
come good. They're going to come good.
Yeah. All right. They are not going to come good. They're
1, and 2. So the
Yeah.
worst two of those is Snake Eyes.
It is.
I think that is a failure.
I think so too.
I think that this is physical stress. It's a 6- you're on. I don't unless Rillisk, do you want to intervene to help?
Yes, why not?
It's probably with finesse, because can you react more quickly than they did? Aid and ally with finesse?
An 8.
An 8. Wow, 7+. Their outcome improves by 1. So this is a 7 to 9. So 7 to 9 take the risk is the GM says what cost accompanies you. I'm going to stress your suit as well.
Cool.
And what cost accompanies? So Jax's suit gets stressed.
Yeah.
7 to 9. And the outcome for you is yes. I think there is evidence that this was crewed undercover by the RGA.
Hmm.
A faction entanglement materializes. I think there's a body in an RGA uniform or jumpsuit.
The Mantis is hitting RGA ships as well. It must be a group within a group. Wheels within wheels.
The conspiracy deepens. Rillisk. And now let me go back round to Nestor. Nestor, you're still on the ops deck. You've not made progress to the next zone, which will probably be cargo.
Okay, and we're moving together.
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the ships are
Yeah,
not
okay.
vast, complicated corridors. They're kind of
Yeah.
a series
Okay.
of stacked decks. So,
Okay.
Nestor, how do we see you trying to get entry to the cargo deck?
I mean, I think there's a door, right? Yeah, let's get it open.
Roll plus force.
Yeah. That's a 7, that's a 9.
A 9, 7 to 9. I exclude 1. Again, I'm going to keep you in your suit, so I'm going to exclude the breathable atmosphere. Which of those do you want? I.e., what do you want to accept as the downside of this?
You get to
section?
choose. You get to choose one. So the breathable atmosphere.
I've removed that one.
Okay,
Then you
okay,
get to
okay.
pick one that's true.
So, but are the others already at the cargo deck?
No,
Or
you're all
no, no.
together
Oh, we're all together. So
Yeah.
I'm just pulling open the door
to the next area.
to the
To
and
get
how
you
many
closer.
areas? How many areas are there?
Well, in theory, you could work your way all the way down to the drives.
Oh.
So yeah, you could be looking at 6, 7
No.
if you wanted
Oh,
to do the
wow.
entire
Okay,
ship.
that's a lot.
I think the intention was to get as far as the cargo deck.
Yeah,
in the
we're
hope
at the
that there were
cargo
some
deck,
goodies.
so I think I will
Because it could be that nothing impedes your progress down to the cargo
yeah,
deck.
but we also want to find something of value, right?
Difficult choices.
Uh,
Such difficult choices.
I want to find some. I mean, we're here to loot, right? I mean, something of value might also be a hidden crew member, right?
No, it is something of cred value.
Okay, fine. What would I need to choose if I want to find someone hiding here?
You would need, I think, probably to get in the 10 plus ones, because then you'd have all 3 to play with, and I'd feel
okay.
obliged to give you a benefit.
Okay, fine. Then that's
So
fine.
we could assist on that roll then.
You could try to assist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How would you do that, Rillisk? Because brute force and ignorance is at play.
Mm-hmm.
Do you push your shoulder to the wheel?
I activate my engineering heads-up display,
Oh,
which highlights structural mechanical features and operates in low light infrared.
It does.
I tell Nestor where to push, as opposed to how to, which bit, helping them push.
That sounds like understanding. Roll plus sharp to aid
Yeah.
a crew member.
And you know what? I'll stress my
to get advantage to aid a crew member.
Yeah, exactly. Because what we're doing it for otherwise, There we go. That is a 10.
A 10. So on a 10 plus, your outcome improves to a 10 plus, Nestor.
Nice.
And there is no downside at all to Rillisk as a result. So on a 10 plus, you get to choose 3 truths. And clearly, a breathable atmosphere is likely to be necessary if you want to find a survivor.
Okay. Then I'll take that.
Yeah.
And I think we also, do we want to have emergency lighting? Probably not, right? We want this flickering.
That seems like an easy one to leave on the table.
Yeah,
in terms
exactly.
Because all it does is to disadvantage you all with spotty lighting if you don't choose it.
Yeah, it's fine. And then maybe we spot something of value that might be the person, right?
I would be
So,
happy for you to trade that one in. Now you've got to breathe
yeah,
some atmosphere.
okay, and then we have spot the hazard, I guess, so we're not disadvantaged by
Yeah.
it.
Perhaps it's even as we're doing it, like the heads-up display begins to warning, like atmosphere detected, and then I help you set up a complicated means of
Getting in without
equalizing
getting out.
pressure without everything,
Yeah.
jogging back to another door and slamming it so it'll
Well,
seal.
the happy accident is that the door above you sealed anyway, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
So you're only flooding a corridor with air, with atmosphere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you will find an unconscious member of the crew. And I'm inclined to say that is our second cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Because which member of the crew is this? Can they provide you with any information about, does that seem fair?
Can it be an unconscious member of the crew with like that RG, that Ringgate intelligence tattoo, maybe like visible, like just where we.
I think that might be quite good, mightn't it? Because we could call back to parishioner Sato at that point.
Yeah.
Sata, rather. So I think that's a good place to leave everyone on a bit of a cliffhanger. Until we come back together after the new year. So yeah, I think we'll call it at that point. No epilogues necessary unless you're very keen.
Also, a good player character to join the crew if anyone decides to roll up a Ringgate intelligence agent.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'd like to do a quick stars and wishes. Yeah. Because I think in terms of last time, I think we hit the desire for a bit of shady, the desire for a bit of a crisis of faith, and the desire for a bit of exploration. So that's all good as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, from the top,
do we do XP? Do we do XP before?
You should do XP. Yeah, you're quite
Okay.
right. Yeah, you're quite right. End of session XP. What a stupid idea. So Jax, was your backstory relevant for good or ill? Oh, you are muted.
There we go. I was gonna say maybe yes, in that it was definitely the reason why, thinking about what he'd done in the past, why he was opposed to the assassinating and those sorts of things. So
yeah, particularly as Leora raised her head and
yeah,
drove him to drink.
that's what I was going to suggest, but then it kind of we kind of decided otherwise, that the unconscious crew member could have been her. But I like what we decided instead. I don't know if I really championed an ally. I don't feel like I really helped make anybody center stage today, but
no, I'd go with that. So does that get you to filling all 6 of those boxes?
It does get me to all 6 of those, so I'll be able to have an
improvement for next time. Yeah. What about Sabine? What about you? Backstory was relevant for good or ill?
Yeah, I think so. Golvan was there, so
yeah. So you have 1 for that. Did you aid an ally or have you been aided? I can't remember.
Both. I aided. And also I gave up my favor to help the Deacon with this thing. So.
Fair point. So ticking a box. Fine. And what about Dr. Rillisk?
I don't think my backstory was relevant for good or ill. I think I was largely in the support role the entire game.
Yeah. So championed an ally, bingo. Transfer that across to you. 1 more to get it filled.
I don't roll sincere very often. That's the pain. Yeah.
Is that your -1?
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And also, there's people who are better at talking. I'm too busy fixing things to talk.
Fixing things. Yeah. So, stars and wishes then. Let's go round. I will probably award an XP to Kay just on the basis of what we saw, because the backstory was heavy. I don't think I saw Gallant aid an a crew member, so I'll put 1 in the back pocket for Kay. So, Sabine, any stars, any wishes?
Yes, stars to the crew and the game. I really loved the Gallant being like, no, I need to follow Galliel, and the whole crisis of faith thing. I also always like seeing Dr. Rillisk be so rational and analytical. That that is a really nice trait to have on a ship like that. And I liked it. Right in the end, the cooperation between Nestor's brute force and her analytics, like working in tandem, that was really nice. And I also loved Jax being, the shady, schmoozy guy who just talked
Yeah,
himself into the.
everything's fine here. How are
Yeah,
you?
yeah, right. That was amazing. As to wishes, yeah, I wish we weren't in so much of a hurry to miss your pairing opportunities because I would really have liked to have more of a scene with Gallant after we were talking about whether we were taking the hit or not, because there might have been a chance for Gallant to convince Nestor.
Yeah,
But then
I know.
everybody else said, yeah, no, we're going, and you were, yeah, you're going. And I was like, okay,
Yeah,
we're
I mean, I
going,
think
yes.
knowing that Kay had to leave early,
Yeah,
it was kind of too good an opportunity to miss in terms of finding a natural break.
yeah.
Um, what about you, Joe? Any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, no, I'd echo what Kay said. I thought, or what Sabine said. Um, I was thinking a lot about like how the K's, she's not here to hear it, but like the whole end there was just pretty epic. And so I don't she did that, and then I was like, how are we going to top that with our cliffhanger and stuff? So but yeah, all around, I'm really, I think we're set up well for a good beginning to season or series two, however you put it. And then wishes.
I mean, is there anything you particularly want to see in season two?
Um, maybe.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
don't feel
yeah,
pinned down now. Put it
yeah,
into our chat room
yeah.
if something comes
Yeah,
to you.
I would say maybe some additional backstory complications, right? Um, faces from the past, etc. And I would also agree with Sabine. Like opportunities to kind of role play out some of the scenes a little bit too as well. So
Yeah, I will admit that I was feeling some pressure of time today. Um, Will, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, I'm glad that we got an explore on the table. I thought it was quite cool. Gallant saying, like the universe will bring me back to you if it's what's meant to be, and going off of their, holy war, basically, a holy mission, which is actually quite a grim mercenary task on behalf of a group of savages, basically, which I think is a good bit of political maneuvering for the factions.
I like that we saved someone,
Yes, yeah, I always like that when we save someone
like as a
entirely.
counterpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, entirely. I like that. I mean, that would be my other one, that we did go back to a ship and we did find somebody in there. Wishes would be some way of developing this Ringgate like super plot and making it tie in with the work, like the make getting missions, and because I feel like that's Mantis, etc. Right? Like the Galliel's order. It's an opportunity for like a series of job lines that interact with that threat coming through. The Galliel's order and aid wanting you to do more, like take over it, or losing a shipment somewhere because of this, and you be the people who then take that shipment again because you know that you can be trusted to do it. Because who knows, Ringate Intelligence may have people on the inside with Galliel's order and aid, right, or whatever. Right, Mantis will.
Well, I mean, certainly
Yeah.
they've demonstrated that they had at least one.
Yeah, and what kind of conspiracy is it where it's just Ringate Intelligence and not the rogue Black Ops unit within Ringate Intelligence, right? Like you need there to be multiple levels of conspiracy going on. So a big star for that. I think I really liked taking the gear off from the ship rather because it just we're in a sci-fi setting, and so like I know that there's like the choice of what you carry with you, and like you not got every bit of gear because it's hard scrabble, but also like the sort of stuff that we're doing, you would kind of expect to have the basic kit for it, right? So I think one complication is that maybe that's not going to work very well with the refreshing gear at downtime. Because if you change when you go to the ship, how do you keep
How do
track
you
of
know
your
which
gear
one?
that's
Yeah,
expired? I also was looking at the ship and like the damage as we took while we fought. You need to keep him because it is harder to upgrade your, like there is, like you say, there is a move for upgrading your ship's ratings and things, right? So when you take damage in a fight, is that removing that upgrade entirely and therefore you have to reinvest in it, or is it something that you can fix?
No, no. I mean, there's a way of telling which ones are you already have the upgrade in place. The ones that are in red are there. If you want to make more things, if you want to increase something from 0 to 1, that's adding a component. Upgrading is improving something that's already 1 to 2 or 2 to 3.
No, yeah, I know.
Oh, sorry.
But when they were getting damaged, we were just unticking those boxes
Yes.
as we went. But like, we've paid to get it up to 2, and then in the fight it's temporarily damaged down to -1, lying down to +1 or to 0, right? And if we don't then fix it as a course of that fight, like how do we remember later on where our maximum hull rating, engine rating, etc. was?
They're in red. They're highlighted.
Oh, the boxes are red. I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
looking at the top 2 where they were.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
that's your max.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It will go up and down towards that.
I really did want to theorize the conspiracy as well, so I'm glad we got the chance to do that. That was one of my. I wanted to use that move for something other than breaking a piece of tech. I think that it's a great move. I didn't want to go too far into expand the whole conspiracy on the basis of this. I think the love letter, maybe sometimes, I like the love letters a lot as a concept, but I think that fictionally, when we've had a fight on a ship, probably the better way is to just be like, like the way that you do it in D&D, where you're just like, oh, and then you're at the back of the party the entire time, and you're just in the extra shots and stuff. Because I feel like it struggled to,
Yeah, it did.
but it's a hard frame to do, right?
It's a tough one to do. You want to give people who miss a session some chance
Something
to
extra.
stay in touch. Yeah.
Yeah. And just finally, I really liked finding somebody. I think that the explore move is a good move. I think that perhaps like it needs a bit of tweaking from its original Starforged thing, because Starforged gives you like all these abstract units to sort of you get momentum, you do whatever, right? And that tells you how your story's going. Whereas the only real meta currency is stress or cred, I guess, right? Which have more material direct things than big abstract fictional things. So like when we were looking through, as you said, there's not an option for find something like a person. There's an option for find credits. Whereas I think that it could do with maybe like what the option of finding something that isn't just more money.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the minute, the only way that the factions can raise its head is by failing.
Yeah, and I think that it could be a factional opportunity, perhaps.
Yeah,
it could be an option.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Because otherwise, you're salvaging for cred that I guess you can then spend on
doing stuff.
On doing stuff, but you may not want to. It makes perfect sense to just keep salvaging for cred, right? Like we could build up a hell of a lot on a ship. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it should be something other than just cred, like find story opportunity on ship or whatever.
I'll see what I can do with that. But I was glad we got a chance to use it. Yeah. Okay. I've waffled on. We've all waffled on. I'm going to end the recording, but not before I say, is it okay if I bung this up? Thank you very much. I will pause the recording there.